was walking down the street, feeling kindly, when the wind came out your butt to my wig off. Oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt to my wig off. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise! I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands, 'cause the wind came out your butt and now somewhere in the land. Oh, the wind came out your butt to my wig off. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see the car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Oh, 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 oh. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Heard to think of tongue. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass. Talking all that shit, spank that ass till you down like a bitch. So I ain't playing. I'm here to get that. Whoop that ass. It's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a box like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive gift in his hand. His hand 10 times his normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpower to make a bitch listen and get her naked with sex ray vision. Hit a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, the pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was Superman. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my gift hand to correct. It's called a bitch slap. Come get the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Welcome back, one more evening. I am your host, School for Justice, where we live, love, laugh, and conquer police brutality. On tonight, we're in Texas. We got a 65-year-old man who's confronted by the police from being hit by a truck. So sit back, relax, get your popcorn, get your wine, get whatever you may need, and let's jump on top of the topic. Smash that like button as you enter into the door, share, and also subscribe.
This episode covers excessive force, public intoxication, and the duty to provide medical care, and is brought to us by the Houston Landing. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On February 26, 2022, Officer Michael Kingsley of the Dickinson Police Department responded to an accident where 65-year-old Michael Sherlock was hit by a pickup truck as he rode his bike in Dickinson, Texas. The interaction that followed was captured on Officer Kingsley's body-worn camera and later on Officer Kevin Chance's body camera.
63, show me out on the bed.
I said I was.
You all right?
Yeah, a little hit to get together. He's being stubborn about getting checked out. He say he all right.
I'm all right.
So we're just.
You all right?
I told him I want to take
No,
him down.
I ain't all right. I need about $1 million, and then I'll be all right.
Well, you ain't getting that, so.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I'm trying to get him. He's all.
you go ahead and get that.
I want to get you
I
down.
got that, and I can put that.
Okay.
Even though it's a complicated son of a.
Yeah. Well, so what do you want to do?
63, he's not injured. No ambulance needed. Can you run Michael Sherlock?
I think I'm gonna let that over. I don't think.
All right, so we got the officers called out here because the man with the hood on, that's a 65-year-old man who was riding his bike and got hit by a truck. So that's why he was called out there for a safety welfare check. And the guy that's helping him with the bike, I think he was just a bystander, a witness, somebody who saw what all went down. The man who hit him with the truck is going on about his business. So this is what we got going on. The officers called out here for an incident report. We're in Texas, y'all.
Going at it right here.
Yeah, I got the tools at the house. You know where I live.
You didn't do that on purpose.
No, sir.
63, did you get my last transmission?
Somebody.
Stop by the house. You know where I be.
I'm glad that you are somebody I know.
Hey, hold on. Don't go anywhere yet.
We don't go anywhere yet.
Exactly what the fuck I mean. Don't go anywhere yet.
Hey, what the?
Hold on. So why is the officer telling him don't go nowhere? Exactly what the fuck I mean. Hold on. He's not required to do anything. It's his choice to make a incident report or an accident report, or if he needs the ambulance or medical assistance to come out on the scene. But if he said he's all right and he's going on about his business, he can do that. So why is you talking about hold up? I need you to stay. Don't go nowhere. And he was like, "What you heard him say? Well, what you talking about? What the fuck I just said? Red flag. You're already on demon time. You come out here for some drama and some smoke with a 65-year-old man who just got hit by a truck. You're not even looking at the safety and making sure that he's okay. And just out of common courtesy, call him an ambulance to get a physical medical checkup for him. All right, so we're gonna check out what's happening next. Share your thoughts with me. Check out the content and smash that like button. Share and subscribe. Food for Justice. Greatly appreciate you.
There's an if I'm done.
I was.
What?
What happened?
He hit me
I was
accidentally.
right
EMS is not needed.
I was looking that way to go, and I was starting to ease out. The next time I see a flash in front of him, he goes,
I was
you know,
worried about
pump
flat. Now I ain't worried about flat. Look at that wheel. Wee.
What were you driving?
I got to fix a flat in that cylinder. And it ain't supposed to fix the bicycle tire. It here. Two
He said he got fixed and flat in the son of a bitch.
to the tire. That son of a is leaking down. Boom, bang. Let's get this. All right, am I through?
No,
What have I got to do?
you got to wait here
What for? Tell me.
till we finish our investigation.
Investigation? There ain't.
Matter of fact, have a seat. Have a seat on the curb.
Matter of fact, I was out there laying.
Have a seat on the curb.
You're not listening to me.
Have a seat
That's
on the
what you're
curb.
supposed to do.
Have a seat on the curb.
She hit me. I mean, he hit me, and I wasn't. I thought
Investigation. What investigation is there to have? If this man did not decide to make an accident report, there is no investigation. Now you're telling him to have a seat on the curb, and until you finish the investigation, he's not allowed to go anywhere. And he's saying the man just hit me, and pretty much it was hit and run. He left. So that's your job to try to track the runner down. Whoever hit him and ran, that's on you to track the suspect down. He chooses not to file a report or even press charges. He has a right to do that. And so now you tell him sit down on the curb until you finish your investigation. There is no investigation to even solve.
he saw me.
Hey, have a seat on the curb.
I'm gonna look for my stuff, young man.
All right, turn around.
Come on now, wait a minute.
Relax.
What are you doing?
And immediately he wants to arrest this elderly man. He wants to arrest the senior citizen for not abiding by what he said do. And there's an investigation. So let's witness his conduct, his behavior, his actions, and choices of what he's going to do next and how he's going to handle the senior citizen.
Hey,
You're gonna have a seat. Sit down.
I'll try to have a seat if you let go of me. You don't own me.
Leave him now.
And just that quick, he knocks him out cold. We see him push him up against the car door, push him down to the ground. There's his goon over there, his co-partner, and he said he's out cold. He's out. You have just knocked the old man out because he chose not to make an accident report. Looks like you're the criminal that needs to be behind bars.
Go ahead, rolling ambulance.
After Mr. Scurlock attempts to step away from Officer Kinsley to collect his possessions, Officer Kinsley grabs his arm and shoves him against the cruiser. When Mr. Scurlock tenses up, Officer Kinsley throws him to the ground, causing him to apparently lose consciousness. Although the type of force used to take Mr. Scurlock to the ground is not clear from the body camera footage, a bystander reported that he saw Officer Kinsley flip Mr. Scurlock upside down and slam him head first into the curb.
The bystander, an eyewitness, says he witnessed a horrified bystander would later tell the officers that he saw Kinsley, the police officer, flip Mr. Scurlock, the elderly man, upside down and slam him head first into the curb. An eyewitness makes the testimony and statement of this in writing. Wow.
Officer Kinsley, on the other hand, claimed that he wrapped his arms around Mr. Scurlock and tripped him with his leg as part of a tactical takedown move. And as we've discussed many times before here on ATA, the Supreme Court established 3 guideposts for courts to use when determining whether a particular use of force was
Y'all, we witnessed the body slam. A body slam. And the aim of the camera, we couldn't get a full view. But we do know he slammed him to the ground. And the eyewitness said he fell on top of his head, hit his head on the concrete, and that's why he's knocked out cold. A 65-year-old senior citizen man who committed no crime. He's a victim of a crime, a hit and run. And this is how the officers protect and serve.
Constitutionally excessive in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. These guideposts, which are often referred to as the Graham factors, include, now quoting, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. Applying the Graham factors to this situation, Mr. Scurlock was the victim of an accident and was not suspected of a crime at the time Officer Kinsley arrived, although it is possible that
We're going to repeat that. He is a victim of an accident and not a suspect of a crime. You was caught out there on an accident report and you committed a crime, officer. You just knocked this elderly man out unconsciously.
court would conclude his non-compliance with Officer Kinsley's orders created arguable probable cause for an interference with a public servant charge, which is a Class B misdemeanor. Likewise, Mr. Scurlock did not take any aggressive actions or appear to pose a threat to anyone. And although he did refuse to comply with Officer Kinsley's orders by attempting to step away, he was not under arrest and therefore could not be considered to be attempting to resist or evade arrest.
And there was no investigation for him to stay around for. Either you file a police report, you give the information, or be an eyewitness of the suspect who hit you, or you choose not to file a report. That's his free will right, his free will choice. And so there was nothing to investigate.
As the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Texas, explained in the 2000 case of Goodson versus City of Corpus Christi, quote, in the Fifth Circuit, to succeed on an excessive force claim, the plaintiff bears the burden of showing 1, an injury, 2, which resulted directly and only from the use of force that was clearly excessive to the need, and 3, the force used was objectively unreasonable. In the 2014 case of Backey versus City of Galveston, an officer argued that he was entitled to qualified immunity for his use of force against a citizen, claiming that a subject's failure to follow police orders, standing alone, may be sufficient justification for the use of force. In rejecting this argument, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas determined that, quote, it is true that a subject's failure to follow police orders is sometimes invoked as justification for use of force, but failure to comply with orders is not a separate and additional factor to be considered in the Graham framework. It is subsumed within the Graham factors themselves. In the Backey case, the court concluded that the citizen's alleged refusal to follow orders should be considered under the first Graham factor, the severity of the crime at issue. The court noted that, at most, his alleged refusal to leave the area constituted interference with a public servant, and held that, now quoting, under clearly established law, no reasonable officer would have believed it lawful to tase a subject for such a minor offense, particularly when the officer had not attempted to use any intermediate measures of force. Now, although Officer Kinsley did not tase Mr. Scurlock, he used aggressive and serious force on him that caused him to lose consciousness without first attempting intermediate force. And it seems likely that a court would conclude that this use of force was excessive.
What we need him now.
63 good going.
Is he out?
The man is knocked out cold, knocked out unconscious because you knocked him out, officer. Didn't have a warrant on him, was not out there suspected of a crime, no altercation, no domestic violence. This man is a victim of a hit and run, and you got him sitting out here knocked out cold because you slammed him to the ground unconsciously. A 65-year-old senior citizen. Share your thoughts, and smash that like button when you peep into the door.
Is he out? You know his name?
Michael Scurlock, I believe.
Is he drunk?
Huh?
Is he drunk?
I don't know. I tried to get him to sit down because it looked like.
Is he drunk? So now you want to justify your action. Now you want to cover your own tail, but guess what? Your goon right there witnessed everything. He saw it from the beginning to the end. the body cams, we have the evidence, all receipts. Is he drunk? He was very sound-minded, showed no signs of public intoxication or anything of that nature. You use excessive force on this elderly guy because of your corrupt character. When you said, stay around for the investigation, you need to come over here and sit down on the curb. And he said, well, what you mean? You heard what the fuck I said. You're showing your corrupt character. You're on demon time, sir. And you just aggressively attacked and assaulted this elderly man. It represents who you are. It shows who you are. You don't care about the community. You don't care about protecting and serving. And so now you want to cover your own ass by, is he drunk? You can come up with a better excuse than that.
And I walked away. They wouldn't do it, so now I told them put your hands behind your back and start resisting.
Let me get his information so I can get him out of here. You good holding him? You want some gloves or something?
I mean, I already touched him. I got some clothes.
As they wait for EMS to arrive on the scene, Officer Kinsley and Officer Chance discuss whether Mr. Scurlock was drunk, despite the fact that the body camera footage.
So now you want us to call the paramedics, the ambulance. I mean, you should have got him a medical assistant when you first got there. He was hurt and injured from the accident. I mean, I understand he said he was okay, but especially at his age, you just want to make sure and double check. And so if he should have stayed around for anything, it should have been for medical assistance and for a checkup to make sure he was okay.
Showed no signs of intoxication. After consultation with his supervisor, Officer Kinsley eventually arrested Mr. Scurlock for public intoxication, although his blood alcohol concentration was never tested.
So now you have to make up a charge. What could you possibly arrest him for? You make up a charge after you knock this old man out and get him for public intoxication. There was no breathalyzer taken, no testing taken. And he was caught out there for an accident. This is absurd. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts, people. We can converse about it.
Defending the arrest, Officer Kinsley's supervisor claimed that he had seen Mr. Scurlock acting erratically earlier in the day, and Officer Kinsley said a bottle in the basket of Mr. Scurlock's bike contained liquid that smelled like alcohol. Under Section 49.02 of the Texas Penal Code, the state public intoxication statute, quote, a person commits an offense if the person appears to be in a public place while intoxicated to the degree that the person may endanger the person or another. Section 1.07 of the Penal Code defines the term public place as, quote, any place to which the public or a substantial group of the public has access and includes, but is not limited to, streets, highways, and the common areas of schools, hospitals, apartment houses, office buildings, transport facilities, and shops. As such, Mr. Scurlock was likely in a public place at the time of his arrest. However, there is a strong argument that the officers did.
First of all, you don't know what the man had inside his personal belongings. You never looked because you didn't have a right to look. You're just making up stuff. Again, it's to cover his own tail. I'm exposing the brutality, folks. I'm bringing enlightenment to the darkness. We have to bring it to the surface, to the forefront, in order to defeat it, to overcome that. So we see who has no integrity, a corrupt character. And it's clear, you all, that this is just no exceptions to the rules. He doesn't qualify to be on law enforcement. Share your thoughts, share your thoughts.
Not have probable cause to believe that Mr. Scurlock was intoxicated. Although the Court of Criminal Appeals of Texas held in the 2019 case of State versus Martinez that there was sufficient evidence for officers to believe that an individual rendered himself subject to potential danger by being intoxicated in a parking lot of a public place, in that case, there was substantial evidence that the suspect was actually intoxicated. The officers testified that they could smell the odor of alcohol on the citizen's breath. He had trouble standing and was swaying, that his speech was.
Well, that's what a breathalyzer is for. You never tested him for any public intoxication. What you did, eyewitness, you knocked him out cold.
was slurred and that his eyes were red and glassy. Here, the only evidence the officers had was Mr. Scurlock's alleged quote-unquote erratic behavior earlier in the day and a bottle that potentially contained alcohol. The body camera footage did not show that Mr. Scurlock exhibited any slurred speech, difficulty standing or swaying, and his eyes did not appear to be red or glassy. Further, the officers never claimed to smell alcohol on Mr. Scurlock's breath or person, and they did not mention the idea of him being intoxicated until after Officer Kinsley had rendered him unconscious. Accordingly,
Absolutely not. And you only brought up being intoxicated to cover your own ass. So it just verifies what I just said. Is to cover his own corrupt, devious behavior. This is abuse of power to the fullest. We have to bring it to the full circle, the forefront. Enlightenment. It is abuse of power to the fullest.
it is likely that a court would conclude that the officers did not have arguable probable cause to arrest Mr. Scurlock for public intoxication. Although Officer Kinsley called for an ambulance, Mr. Scurlock eventually regained consciousness, and when EMS arrived, Mr. Scurlock refused medical attention. However, at the time, he was unstable and confused, with blood streaming down his face. Officer Kinsley then transported him to the Dickinson City Jail, where staffer Floyd Pruitt said Mr. Scurlock needed to go to the hospital, but admitted him anyway. Despite the fact that Mr. Scurlock began complaining of pain and dizziness even before he arrived at the jail, he spent the night in a cell, where video footage showed him unsteady even in a seated position, collapsing and vomiting. The jail's security camera also captured an interaction between Mr. Scurlock and Mr. Pruitt the next morning, as Mr. Pruitt had to help Mr. Scurlock out of his cell to stand before a judge setting bail.
Come on.
All right, so they got him down here in booking now. They done charged him with public intoxication. This corrupt, on demon time officer. They never got him any medical attention or assistance. So they threw him in the hole all night in the jail cell and seen that the man was injured, hurt, and needed medical help. They say he was dizzy, he was throwing up, all different kind of symptoms. They never had a nurse, even in the jail, to see about him. So now they're bringing him out the cell to sign some paperwork. So we got him here in the county jail after he's been knocked out by a police officer at 65 years old, bogusly charged for public intoxication. And now we have the footage of him down in booking.
You got a car, don't you?
A car for what?
To get me home.
No, I don't have a car to get you home in. Come on. Mr. Scurlock, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to have a lawyer present at any interview with the police or district. You have the right to terminate any interview at any time. You don't have to make a statement, but I must warn you, any statement you make can will be used against you. You're charged with public intoxication. I'm going to set a bond of $581. Can you make bond, sir? I think that's enough.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What do we do?
Oh,
He got the laceration on his head. Okay, payment plan is good.
So now they're asking him, can he make bond off the bogus charge? No evidence, no breathalyzer, no drug testing, no anything pertaining to public intoxication, any drugs, any alcohol, any intoxication in his system at all. And now you're asking him, can he make bond? Y'all, this is bogus. They're just making up stuff as they go, doing exactly what they choose to do. And so they're reading him his rights, going over the paperwork and deciding how they're going to handle it next.
oh, how am I here?
You got arrested for public intoxication yesterday.
I got beat on this today.
And what the officer wanted to do is, he knew he knocked him out, he knew he was injured, and he seen all the symptoms. So he said, we're going to charge him with being drunk. Oh, he's acting like that. He's staggering. He can't hardly stand up. He's dizzy. He's throwing up because he's drunk. That's the lie he wants to throw on there, knowing that this man is injured because he's an elderly man. And he's dying, folks. That's what's going on. The officers know it, and they don't give a damn. They're just covering their own asses. Like, as you all enter in, peep into the door.
Having signed that, fill that out, if it has any information, we'll go from there.
Man, I ain't got no way out here.
No, you're getting out. You're getting out. Stand right here for me.
Oh,
So they're letting him sign his own bond. It's pretty much, I can't think of the name of it right now, but where you can sign yourself out on the bond. So they're really in the process of releasing him.
You make it one of the best you can.
man, I can't see.
Huh?
I can't see.
Right here.
I believe it's called a surety bond, where you can sign yourself out or bond yourself out.
And you make the best you can.
Okay.
Okay. Just sit right there on the bench for me. I think this one got, I think this is,
God, man.
that got,
Ah!
yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
Okay, hey, you're gonna have to be quiet. You have to be quiet, right? Yes, sir. Come on.
He's telling him he's got to be quiet instead of getting the man medical attention. And so their plans are to release him after he signs the paperwork. And now he's throwing him back inside of another jail cell by himself with nobody guarding him, watching him, no supervision, and no medical attention. What do y'all see is going on? Is it brutality? Is it corruption of the law? Do we see abuse of power? What do you think is going on? By our constitutional rights, by the constitutional amendment of every citizen in this nation. What do you witness and see valid that's going on with this senior citizen, elderly man, by law enforcement?
I can't come over.
The judge is out here.
No.
Sit right there.
Despite the fact that Mr. Scurlock exhibits extreme disorientation, difficulty walking, and reported that he could not see, the jail employees do not offer or provide any medical assistance for Mr. Scurlock. In the 1983 case of Revere versus Massachusetts General Hospital, the Supreme Court recognized, now quoting, a municipality's constitutional duty to obtain necessary medical care for a person injured by the municipality's police in the performance of their duties, and held that the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment requires the government to, now quoting again, provide medical care.
Due process of the 14th Amendment law to provide medical care to persons who have been injured while being apprehended by the police. That is your right. You even have rights as inmates. Due process. These officers are fully aware of that. But you know why they don't want to give him medical attention? Because it will reveal what he did. It would show his actions. It's to cover up his own ass. And he had eyewitnesses, fellow officer who saw it.
To persons who have been injured while being apprehended by the police. In the Revere case, the court determined that the government had fulfilled its constitutional obligation by seeing that the injured individual was taken promptly to a hospital that provided the treatment necessary for his injury, and ensuring that the medical care needed was in fact provided. Now, although Officer Kinsley called for an ambulance, he did not ensure that Mr. Scurlock received medical care, allowing him to refuse EMS and taking him to jail, despite the clear need for treatment for his open wound and exhibited traumatic brain injury symptoms. As such, there is certainly cause to believe that Officer Kinsley violated his duty to provide medical care to Mr. Scurlock. Additionally, the Supreme Court concluded in the Revere case that the Eighth Amendment's prohibition on cruel and unusual punishments is violated by, now quoting, deliberate indifference to serious medical needs of prisoners, and that while the Eighth Amendment applies only to convicted prisoners and not to pretrial detainees, the due process rights of pretrial detainees, now quoting, are at least as great as the Eighth Amendment protections available to
So we hear about the Eighth Amendment protections and due process, even to prisoners and also to inmates as well. Our Eighth Amendment due process, or at least as great as the Eighth Amendment protection available to a convicted prisoner. You have rights, even as an inmate. And for prisoners, when they are incarcerated and hit the state or feds and hit prison, they receive a handbook with all of their inmate rights. You have rights even as an inmate, even as a convicted prisoner. So keep that in mind. And we definitely have rights as a citizen.
Convicted prisoner. Accordingly, as the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals explained in the 2021 case of Martinez versus City of North Richland Hills, quote, when officials demonstrate deliberate indifference to a pretrial detainee's serious medical needs, they violate the 14th Amendment. The court also noted that, quote, deliberate indifference is a demanding standard. It requires that an official both know the pretrial detainee faces a substantial risk of serious harm and disregard that risk by failing to take reasonable measures to abate it. Here, Mr. Scurlock's symptoms appeared to be severe and evident, and there is a strong argument that the jail officials demonstrated deliberate indifference to Mr.
This man had been sick all night long, ever since they took him in the day before. So this is the next day. He spent the night there all night long. He's out unconscious. He comes back dizzy, oriented, throwing up, all kinds of symptoms, asking for help in pain. This man has been like this or in worse condition ever since he brought him in from beating him down and knocking him out unconscious. A 65-year-old senior citizen. This is what they're doing in active duty.
Scurlock's serious medical needs. After Mr. Scurlock saw the judge, Mr. Pruitt gave him an aspirin and released him from the jail. Mr. Scurlock was driven.
An aspirin. What a joke. You give him an aspirin? No medical attention, not even a nurse or a legal medical aid there in the county or local city. Zero attention. So they give him an aspirin. Now they're in the process of releasing him.
Home, and the next day, Mr. Scurlock's sister found him unconscious in her backyard. She took him to the hospital, where doctors diagnosed him with a brain bleed and admitted him to intensive care, where he remained for 2 weeks. In December of 2022, Mr. Scurlock passed away following a stroke, and according to his...
This man dies. The officer deletes this 65-year-old man who was already a victim of a hit and run. He's riding his bike and somebody in the pickup truck hits him on his bike. Then you come along, slam him to the ground, knock him out unconscious, give him zero medical attention. He suffers until he has brain injury and they found bleeding on the brain. Then it takes him into a stroke and he dies. The officer deleted the 65-year-old man who was a victim of an accident. And this is your activity in the line of duty to protect and serve the public. They're on demon time, people. They are on demon time. So let's see what the family is doing pertaining to the situation.
Sister, he never fully recovered from his brain injury and spent the rest of his life in and out of hospitals and nursing homes. Although a medical examiner concluded that Mr. Scurlock died of Parkinson's disease, his family attributed his death to complications from the brain bleed caused by Officer Kinsley. Former Dickinson Lieutenant Frank Price conducted an internal affairs review of the altercation shortly after it occurred, which included a visit with Mr. Scurlock in the hospital. Lieutenant Price concluded that Officer Kinsley had not engaged in any wrongdoing and no punishment was recommended. Officer Kinsley was later promoted to sergeant. However, nearly 7 months later, after a whistleblower came forward, city officials
promoted to sergeant. When it's medical evidence, medical proof that the elderly man passed away from the brain injury, from being slammed on the concrete by the police officer, bleeding on his brain, led him into a stroke. That's the cause of death. The autopsy, medical, and the family got all of that information they did. And now the officer is promoted to sergeant. This is what we got going on after you just deleted a man and took an innocent life. You're the criminal that needs to be set behind bars. Now, what do you see, people? Talk to me, talk to me. We can converse and do dialogue about these type of things. We can definitely fact check this situation because it looks like he's the criminal that needs to be convicted and put in prison. But what we got going on, we see him promoted to sergeant.
Retired Austin Police Department Detective Jesse Prado as a private investigator to review several Dickinson Police Department cases, including Mr. Scurlock's. After completing his investigation, Mr. Prado issued a report in April of 2023. The report determined that Lieutenant Price conducted a, and I'm quoting, flawed and biased inquiry into the altercation and deliberately worked to, quote, cover up the incident, noting that Lieutenant Price only interviewed one Dickinson police officer, Officer Kinsley himself, and did not document Mr. Scurlock's extensive medical problems in the jail. Mr. Prado also.
So it's labeled bias because they're saying he attacked this elderly man because he's homeless, or he appeared to look homeless. So he targeted a certain group of community, a certain community of people. And that's what the bias or stereotype comes in at, that he attacked this elderly man because he believed he was homeless. And he didn't have any family or anyone, one to help him. And it was about him being homeless. So that's what's reported in the investigation per the internal affairs.
Also found that Lieutenant Price did not tell doctors that Mr. Scurlock hit his head on the ground when he visited the hospital, even though the physicians were unsure of what caused the injury. Mr. Prado additionally concluded that Dickinson's then police chief, Ronald Morales, was intentionally, quote unquote, untruthful in his responses to city officials when they asked about the encounter, originally telling them that Mr. Scurlock's injuries were caused by the bike crash. Additionally, Mr. Prado's report determined that Officer Kinsley, quote, showed ill will and malice during his interaction with Mr. Scurlock, unnecessarily escalated.
It was malicious to the fullest, malice intent, vile, heartless, corruption. And he believes the badge allows him to get away with crime.
The incident, omitted key information about Mr. Scurlock's injury to the EMS technician who responded to the scene, missed multiple opportunities to provide medical care, and inaccurately described the encounter in an official report. Finally, Mr. Prado, who was not asked by city officials to investigate Mr. Pruitt, stated in his report that Mr. Pruitt, quote, failed to render aid to Mr. Scurlock. The Galveston County District Attorney's Office Public Integrity Division reviewed the report for criminal charges, and on February 22nd, 2024, a grand jury indicted Officer Kinsley with abusing an elderly person, which is a third-degree felony, and official oppression, a Class A.
Here is the indictment for abusing the elderly. And the other one is, I'm trying to look and see. He'll reiterate it here in a minute. But yes, he had a couple of charges placed on him, but his charge should have been, we already know, the M word, because that's what he committed. He deleted this man. That should have been the charge, but he has two different charges. Here are the indictments, Galveston County and Texas.
Misdemeanor. In their indictment, the grand jurors determined that Officer Kinsley caused Mr. Scurlock's body and head to strike the ground and...
Okay, so one was a Class A felony, which can hold anywhere up to 20 years to life, and the other one was a misdemeanor off the two charges.
Failed to obtain medical care for him, despite having ample opportunity to do so while he was in his custody. They also found that Officer Kinsley knowingly arrested, detained, and mistreated Mr. Scurlock in an unlawful manner. As of the date of writing this episode, these charges are still pending. Notably, Officer Kinsley's employment records included repeated allegations of excessive force and reckless behavior, resulting in at least 5 internal affairs investigations by both the Dickinson...
So there's the history, there's the pattern, that he's done these things before and been reported by internal affairs and complaining on to his local superiors at the department. various times.
PD and the Houston Police Department, where Officer Kinsley worked from 2017 to 2019. During his time at the Houston PD, Officer Kinsley received a 5-day suspension for inappropriate use of force and ultimately resigned in 2019 while suspended from duty for an investigation into unspecified misconduct.
So whose fault is that they're out there? It's the department's fault, because you know what type of person you was dealing with, and you allowed him back onto the force. So that falls back on the superior in the department. It all falls on them because they was fully aware of who they was dealing with.
Conduct allegations. He joined the Dickinson Police Department about 1 year later. Overall, Officer Kinsley gets an F for using excessive and unnecessary force against Mr. Scurlock, demonstrating an extreme level of indifference to the physical injury he caused, and seemingly fabricating a public intoxication charge against Mr. Scurlock in an apparent effort to justify the extreme force he used against him. Officer Price, Mr. Pruitt, and the other police and jail officials who came into contact with Mr. Scurlock also get an F for demonstrating a complete lack of concern for Mr. Scurlock's well-being and failing to ensure that he received medical care for his obvious and severe symptoms. Finally, Lieutenant Price and Chief Morales also get an F for...
So this is the chief and the lieutenant there that basically covered the officer's ass and knew his history and pattern and rehired him back on the force. And actually, after he deleted this old man and committed the KILL word, they promoted him to sergeant. This is a crooked injustice, humiliating department to ever represent any law enforcement in the active duty or constitutional amendments. Share your thoughts, people. What do you all see? I can see you active in the comments.
Failing to acknowledge Officer Kinsley's misconduct and apparently attempting to cover up the incident and mislead city officials. In many ways...
Thank you, narrator. Thank you, thank you. You just verified my exact words.
The appalling nature of this encounter speaks for itself. And if there was a grade lower than an F, I would certainly assign it to the Dickinson police and jail personnel involved in this incident. I commend the city officials for hiring Mr. Prado to investigate this horrifying altercation, and the Galveston County District Attorney's Office for pursuing criminal charges against Officer Kinsley. As for Mr. Scurlock, I cannot rightly assign a grade to an individual who suffered a severe injury at the hands of a police officer and spent most of the encounter unconscious or clearly exhibiting symptoms of a serious traumatic brain injury. There was no justification for the level of force that Officer Kinsley used against him, or the...
No justification, immoral, no compassion, no respect. This was just cruel. An act of cruelty and a vicious crime committed. Intentional. It was definitely intentional, and covered it up by lying, saying the old man was drunk.
The apparent indifference to his suffering demonstrated by the police and jail officials who came into contact with him. And I offer my deepest condolences to Mr. Scurlock's family. It is truly devastating that Mr. Scurlock lost his life, potentially as a result of police brutality and misconduct. And I hope that Mr. Scurlock's family is able to find some level of peace and comfort from the criminal charges that have been filed against Officer Kinsley. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.
Thank you all so much. And this is the reason that I cover police brutality. This 65-year-old man lost his life after just being a victim of an accident. The officers that we're supposed to trust to keep us safe, to protect us, and serve the public has become our allies. He committed a crime and took this man's life. So thank goodness for the judicial system coming through and charging him with multiple charges, but they did not charge him with deletion, even though he is the reason the man passed away. He deleted him. So I'm going to always bring enlightenment to the forefront, and enlightenment, the power of justice to full circle for us to conquer and divide the brutality. And until we can face those demons, then we can conquer them. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you. And until next time, I am your host, Scoop for Justice, here where we live, love, and laugh and overcome corruption of the law. And as always, let's speak truth to power. Salute.